Alright, so some updates on the Camaro. Basically, it's on the back burner right now because there's a lot of projects I'm working on at the moment. So as soon as I get some free time, maybe this weekend or something, I will start back up on it. Another reason I haven't been working on it is that the weather has just been horrible. The car, basically I wanted to get it all ready to the point where I could just fire it up and then immediately take it for a drive, you know, pending no leaks. Still working on finalizing everything. I got pretty much everything's in order. I got some trans fluid in it. I got the oil primer on the block. I have the exhaust on. Everything's tightened up. The sway bar links, or you know, the cross member, just about everything's all ready to roll. I even hooked the fuel lines up. I cleared them out, drained all the old gas. The old gas was so damn yellow. It looked like, you know, you're pissed. I mean, it was just like,
yeah.
You know, if it was any oranger, it could be orange juice. But so yep, fresh fuel in it. Everything's all bolted up. I downloaded the tune file on it. I've yet to really go through it. The car's actually been down for quite a while. It really is pretty crazy to imagine how long it's been. But yeah, it's getting close now. The way that I like to break in engines is I like to seat the rings under pressure, because that's the state they're going to be in when you're driving the thing. You know, the old way of thinking was to just baby it, just to keep the motor going, you know, just go real easy on it for a couple hundred miles. I don't think that's really, it's not really what I believe in. It's a theory. So when you work in the automotive industry, you tend to emphasize a lot on precautions. As soon as I get this thing fired up, the way I like to break it in is to actually get on the gas. Basically, I'm going to get it on a nice straight road. I'm going to get on the gas a little bit, and I'm going to gradually work my way up until, you know, 75% throttle, maybe kick it up to 100% if the tune is good. But that's just the way I like to do it. So did it with the last one, and that thing ran really strong. One other thing that I've been playing around with is like some lighting options. Now for the 93 to 97 Camaro, there's not a whole lot out there for headlights. They do have some guys that pop the glue off of the factory sealed beam housing, so they put a little bit of a hotter bulb in there to get a little bit more light out of it. There's also guys that use HID lights. They'll put a light in the ballast, they'll wire that whole thing up. I don't really like the idea of putting an HID bulb inside a halogen lens, because you don't have a cutoff. Basically the design of that headlight is it's meant to focus a dim light in a general direction, and anything that strays past that focus point pretty much just, it's not really an issue. So if you're driving up on another car, they're not getting the full focus of those dim halogen bulbs, so they're not going to go blind. Now when you put a HID, that bulb is so damn bright, you're sending light upward, downward, in the focus point, out of the focus point. It's just oversaturating those lenses. They just cannot focus that type of light. Basically, what I want to do is I want to try something. I'm just going to play around, and I'm going to try and redesign the housing a little bit. I want to put kind of like an LED ring around the outer perimeter. So basically for that, I'm going to have to get some translucent 3D printer filament and and I'm gonna run some tests with that and see if I can get that kind of like that halo ring going on with it. The main reason I want to design those headlights is I want a brighter light path. So I'm gonna get some high power LEDs and I'm gonna play around with it. If I have to, I can probably come up with a lens and try to make my own kind of cutoff for it. I don't want to make them obnoxious where I'm blinding everybody. I want bright lights, but I want a good quality light. Let's see, the other thing on light, I bought a set of different taillights. They're kind of, they're not a very popular taillight for a Camaro, but these lights are basically, they were for a 97 to 02 Camaro. They had the different bulb sockets in them, more of an updated, they have like 3157 bulbs in it. Mine's got the old school round socket bulbs. So I'm going to try and convert the harness on the light to actually work with the with my existing harness, because I care more about my car than I do these, you know, crappy taillights. They're like these LED taillights, and there's like a bunch of small LEDs in there for your brake and your turn, and they're really bright, and I do like the light pattern on them, but I'm just not a fan of the housing, and I wanted to use like a red VHT to tint the lens all red. I prepped the housing, got it nice and clean, and I shot it with probably like 10 coats of this VHT stuff, and they're like blood red. They look a hell of a lot better than they did before doing the red VHT, but they still look a little strange to me. I mean, I think they would grow on me over time. I'm gonna try them out, but if I convert those harnesses, I'll be able to swap them out like in like 5 minutes. So, yeah, so I'm gonna try that out. They are really bright, so yeah, I'll show you that video in a second here. Got them wired up with this start switch. Back here we have our Camaro simulated wire harness hooked up to the battery here. So press the button. That's what they look like on. They come on really fast. Kind of cool. So I like the way that the lights look. I just didn't like the way that the housings looked. So I definitely think this is an improvement on the way these housings looked, but I'm just not quite sure I like it more than the factory tail. Personally, I think the LT1 taillights look better than the LS taillights, but you know, so I just wanted something I could just throw in there to change it up a little bit, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got. So